Hello, I'm Vicki Knott. I'm the CEO and co-founder of CruxOCM. So what CruxOCM does is we've developed industrial autonomy software for human-in-the-loop industrial autonomy. So meaning people are very much involved in how heavy industry operates. However, you get the benefits of autonomy. So think like co-pilot or an autopilot in a plane. So that's Crux and what we're up to. And we're trying to bring that, definitely bringing that to the industrial heavy pipeline and for oil pipelines. So today I want us to talk about industrial AI in the midstream pipeline space. And what does that mean? And how can we kind of wrap our heads around it? Or at least I'll share from my perspective what it is, and maybe that can help inform yours. So industrial AI is something that has been around. It's not brand new. You know, we think AI, well, that's actually LLMs. So ChatGPT, large language models, those are new innovations. But in terms of artificial intelligence and automation, those things have been around for quite some time. But what are they, and what does that mean in terms of midstream pipeline operation? Well, there's predictive maintenance, softwares that do predictive analytics and to come up with maintenance plans based on the actual health of the equipment. Well, that's an example of industrial AI. Real-time process optimization and control. So think of like Crux, what we do, and real-time operation of the set points that control room operators would be issuing to their SCADA systems. So that closed loop automation is an example of industrial AI. Then there's automated visual inspections. So these fantastic new cameras that are picking up the smallest anomalies on things. There's fiber optics that pick up anomalies on pipelines. So that's another example of industrial AI. Supply chain and logistics optimization. So I know there's a fantastic software package for scheduling nominations for oil pipelines. That's another example. And then finally, workflow automation. So a lot of folks in pipeline companies, especially in the finance or the accounting side of things or the contract side of things, they'll have become very familiar with robotic industrial process automation. That's automating their mouse clicks or helping them get through their routine tasks much more quickly. So those are examples of what is industrial AI and what folks would see in the midstream, either integrated or midstream pipeline space. What are the benefits with automation? So industrial AI, a segmentation of that would be automation. That's our interpretation. So what are the benefits of that? Well, like any good consultant, there's the business words. So there's cost reduction, there's revenue growth, there's operational safety and scalability, there's informed decision making, and of course, maintaining competitive edge. All of those sound like a whole bunch of, buzzwords, for lack of a better term, in terms of what are the benefits, but those benefits are real, right? So if we think of benefits of automating anything in our daily task, whether that's even getting Siri to order us a cheeseburger from McDonald's, those automations save time, and that time is money. So those are really that's what those items are all encompassing, is how automation and the benefits of automation of industrial AI, save time and therefore have monetary benefits to our clients, and that's applicable here in midstream, of course. So what are the benefits then of industrial AI in the midstream pipeline, oil pipeline space? Well, there's cost reduction, right? So predictive AI powered predictive maintenance tools result in an ability for pipeline operators to be able to get ahead of their predictive maintenance schedules so they can schedule it out, no disruption to production, maintenance is done, enhancing the lifespan of these assets. So all of that is cost reduction, and that stems from the industrial AI, that is your predictive maintenance systems that most of you likely already have in place. Revenue growth, that's another benefit of industrial AI. So industrial AI, as it pertains to pipelines and what Crux does, closed loop automation. Industrial AI is definitely closed loop automation, and that enhances throughput. So what it does is it increases the frequency and duration that the asset is at max rates, or maximizing utilization as much as possible. And that translates into an uplift in actual top line revenue, which is super exciting for everyone, for the pipeline and midstream oil space in general. Operational safety and stability is another one, super important. An issue in large, heavy industrial oil pipelines is pressure cycling. So the opening and closing of valves, the speeding up and slowing down of pumps or variable frequency drives, all of that translates into pressure swings, or if you think jumping into your bathtub, sloshing in your bathtub. That has wear and tear on the equipment. So an industrial AI application to work with that is back to Crux's software, pipeBOT, which it executes significantly more set points at smaller frequencies or smaller rates, meaning that over time, everything is a much smoother operation than what manually folks can do today. So those benefits are minimizing that intensity of the pressure cycling, and then, having long-term asset integrity positive impacts. Informed decision-making. This is somewhere that we, certain aspects of the midstream oil pipeline business will have, other aspects might not have, but an example that where it would be in the oil scheduling of nominations. So you have your customer database and you have the schedule, and you're constantly updating the schedule as you're getting new information from customers in the market to enable the decision. So that's a very real-time, great system to see that. Where we're lacking a little bit is in some of the visibility into our operational technology environments and an ability to see, okay, what was the actual versus planned throughput production? What did we achieve versus what did we say we were going to achieve, and where are we in real time? Some of that is currently missing, and that's definitely an important part of the midstream pipeline business. So that's something there that informed decision making, that exists in certain parts of the business. Something that Crux is working on is to be able to ask pipeBOT what it did. So we see that as a great training tool, and getting those insights even easier to access out of modern technology. So that's something that we're working on. And informed decision making, there's definitely places in the business where it's got some progress. Then there's places in the midstream business where it still has a little ways to go. So then, early adopters of industrial AI, what are the benefits? There's the old adage, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Well, we'd like to challenge that, because in the commodities market, yes, energy demand is growing slightly. Yes, 70% of our world's energy moves on pipelines. However, in the short-term durations of quarters, there's only so much capacity to be had. So by adopting industrial AI, you're enabling your business to get as much market share in that commodities market as you can, like as much as possible. And the quicker you move, the more of that you can maintain, which has shareholder impacts, frankly, which is fantastic. So that's a reason why we want to be early adopters. That if it's not broken, don't fix it. We should really challenge that and keep moving forward. So key advantages, we've talked, folks are using it in quite a lot of the business in midstream oil pipelines, but there's certain parts of the business where we're not really using it yet. So and we talked a bit about the advantages and the forward looking, but what are the key advantages really of using industrial AI and really adopting it broadly? And folks might have considered this digital transformation in the past, and I think it's a continuation of that, and in the midstream, we're still moving forward. So real-time actionable insights, that's a big one as a key advantage. Like right now, especially in operational technology environments, each different software package is effectively siloed because its old software doesn't have connectivity. And we don't want it to have connectivity depending on the case. However, with that lack of connectivity doesn't mean we can get real-time actionable insights. So modernizing our infrastructure in terms of our software infrastructure as a business, as a midstream business, that'll really start enabling some more of these advanced AI applications to be available, especially in the OT environment, where currently we don't have even data feeds back to these types of applications yet. So data feeds back to these applications, okay. Writing into the OT environment, we get it. Not a thing that we want to do. But if we want real-time actionable insights, we do have to get some connectivity between these packages. Key advantage, we've talked a bit about this, but we're going to talk about it again, is that advantage of being able to increase the level of automation in your pipeline operations. Only so much can be done at the PLC, just like only so much can be done at the SCADA level, while only so much can be done as well on-prem. So therefore, there needs to be some cloud capability to enable that connectivity and that ability to execute on these more automated actions in the control room. So enabling that and closing the loop at the console for the control room operator is hugely valuable. That's where we're trying to get to. That is industrial autonomy and human-centered industrial autonomy. So the control room operator is still sitting there, still monitoring. That's where the true benefits of both of these really come together. So we can have the automated adjustment process with the pilot still monitoring, making sure everything's going the way it's supposed to. Reduce mental strain and enhanced oversight. So another important thing of industrial AI, and when we talk about co-pilot type functionality and really using technology to enhance humans' abilities, not replace, enhance. So the benefit and what's important is, you have control room operators now, and they're essentially really in the weeds, executing a lot of commands, can be busy answering the phone. What we want to do is give them as many tools as possible to take them out of that so that they can be much more productive with higher order decision making. So I harp on this one, and I love this one, but the analogy to the airplane pilot, right? So we want our pilots to be super competent and super knowledgeable and well-trained and all of that, but we also really don't want them super stressed out. So there's a balance that we have to find, and I don't think we've found that balance yet in the pipeline space, in the oil pipeline space, but I hope that we're definitely starting to get closer and we have a pathway to get there. So AI, industrial AI, it can enable a safer and more productive work environment overall. So really, the enablement of technology to help us, to make us safer, to make us smarter, all of that just has fantastic benefits in terms of our quality of work. I know I dread a lot less putting together documentation because I have ChatGPT type things to help me. So we really want that in all aspects of our lives. So yeah, that's what I think is the benefits of industrial AI. Some of them we're currently enjoying, and some of them I think we have a little ways to go in the midstream pipeline space, but I think we can get there. So I touched a little bit on the power of industrial AI, the benefits of it. I touched a bit about this connectivity part, and I want to just double click in and go back to that. So right now, legacy systems, there's some capabilities that are being developed and they're excellent. But in general, these legacy systems just aren't built to be interconnected with zero trust environments. That's just the reality. So unless these legacy systems have upgraded, likely they don't have that the ability to interconnect. So if they don't interconnect, then you're really not able to unlock the capabilities of different systems talking to each other, different automations executing, and that's quite a challenge when it comes to full business automation or end-to-end automation of something. So that collaborative decision making is something that real-time insights can enable. Right now, I know in midstream pipelines, you might get your actual versus planned, you pull the data from the DCS, then you upload it into an Excel sheet, you turn it into some graphs, and then you send it off to VPs to say okay, this is about where we are in terms of where we're supposed to be. That sounds fine, but why couldn't that just be a real-time dashboard that the right people have and that they can see at all times? So those are the benefits of having that interconnectivity and enabling that. Industrial AI also enables learning from experts. Think of these systems as experts, right? Like these new software packages that are, like Crux, maybe executing on behalf of the control room operator, they are doing it in the best way. They're doing it in an expert way. So what these systems are doing is they're actually capturing amazing knowledge from the folks who are 20, 30-year veterans and have been doing these types of jobs. And it's capturing that knowledge and encoding it so that new hires and new folks have a place to start, and especially I know the oil and gas industry is well aware of it, but the great shift change, we don't have nearly as much talent wanting to come into our industry, and that means that we really do need to codify these types of learnings, and that's where industrial AI can really benefit. Transparency and trust. So going to a fully modern IT, OT stack as much as you can, enabling the connectivity, and doing that in a zero trust way actually increases transparency in the organization and thereby trust in the organization. So you're able to think of it, you know how you have your badge card for like coming in and out of your office building, but like there's certain floors you don't have access to. Well, now you can think of, by having a fully modern IT stack, you can think of it as people have badges to every program, right? And so there's always authentication of who's been where when. And that's actually much safer than a fully on-prem system. And so that's for IT OT, but IT, of course, and most are moving this way, and it has fantastic business benefits. Agility in crisis. So real-time data feeds of what's happening in the business enables faster decision-making, and that's agility in crisis, right? So rather than having to wait a couple of hours for someone to open their computer and send out their email or pull some data, you have a real-time data feed right away, enabling those decisions to come even faster. And like we talked about earlier, time is money. So we want to make those decisions as fast as we can. So we've talked exhaustively about industrial AI. But let's do some frequently asked questions because, you know, especially if someone doesn't come from a technology background, just what do these words even mean? So is industrial AI compatible with legacy systems? Absolutely, it is. So folks are using different aspects of industrial AI as we went through today already, but they may be manually transferring data, but they're still working in conjunction with these legacy systems because these legacy systems are extremely important. So the answer is yes. Can AI be used for real-time operational decisions? Yes. Assuming the connectivity between the different software programs and the ability to then funnel that data to the right people, then yes, absolutely the technology exists to enable real-time decision-making. How scalable are industrial AI solutions? Well, I think ask that question to your current operations, right? How scalable is your current predictive maintenance solution? Maybe there were some bumps to get it to full implementation across your organization, but how scalable was it? Well, you got it there. I think the same thing goes for any industrial AI application. It's absolutely scalable. Just got to get the right pieces in place and get it going. But like any hardware build, things happen, things change, but the goal being getting to value as fast as possible. Can AI improve throughput in midstream operations? Yes. Industrial AI can. Industrial AI being the subset that is the advanced process control, executing on a pipeline can increase the frequency and duration that you're at max rates, thereby increasing utilization of the asset, increasing throughput, increasing top-line revenue. If you want to learn more, please click like, subscribe. We have YouTube and we're on LinkedIn. We'll be doing some more talking about industrial AI and how the term fits into essentially what we're already doing. So looking forward to hearing your folks' comments, and please let us know what you think.